Boruto episode 131 preview. Alright guys, this episode is going to be the start of the climax of this arc. I mean, of course, it's been a very short arc thus far, but of course we understand it's going to be a lot more episodes. But right now, Urashiki finally pulls up to Boruto, Naruto, Jiraiya, and also Sasuke. Now this is going to be very interesting, but first, I do want to read the spoilers that was actually translated by Organic Dinosaur. The link to her Twitter will be in the description below. I highly recommend you guys check her out. She even translated the next episode as well, so if you guys want to check that out, I highly recommend you guys go give that a look. But the title of this episode is going to be the QB's power. Now into the actual main summary, it says Urashiki kidnaps Naruto. Attempting to snatch away the QB, Urashiki kidnaps the childhood version of Naruto. Boruto, Sasuke, and Jiraiya mobilize in order to rescue Naruto, but the QB's power is overflowing. Boruto finally manages to reach up with his father in his pursuit. Even though Boruto tracks down Urashiki and corners him, he then witnesses a certain ominous thing. Alright, now this right here seems to be very interesting. The first thing that jumps out to me is that, Urashiki actually successfully managed to kidnap Naruto. Now, I thought this would be a much more difficult fight for Urashiki, but it seems like he managed to do it very quickly. Urashiki already understands that Sasuke is pretty much extremely weak right now. We could probably say like, hey, that right there seems to be extremely realistic right now. Now, listen, even though Sasuke is extremely weak and as of right now, I spoke about this in my episode review. I said, hey, there's a very good possibility that Sasuke and Jiraiya formulate some sort of plan to keep Naruto away from Urashiki, but it seems like that wasn't the situation. Urashiki completely stole Naruto away from Sasuke and Jiraiya, and they can't necessarily do anything to stop it. But one thing that I do want to point out is the fact that Urashiki might have done some trickery to take away Naruto. But what we kind of seen from the preview was that Urashiki like deboed Naruto away from everybody else, and it seemed like he just alphaed up and took him. But also, judging from these spoilers, it seems like Boruto and everybody else went out to look for Urashiki. Here's the thing that's a little bit confusing, and this might be plot armor just for Naruto, but what we understand is that Urashiki has the ability to snatch chakra extremely quickly. He's different from a lot of the other Otsutsuki members that we've seen before in the past, even characters with the Rinnegan that has the ability to absorb jutsus. Urashiki pretty much uses a fishing rod to instantaneously snatch a lot of chakra in the matter of milliseconds. He did it to Mitsuki, he did it to Gaara, he did it to Sasuke, and the huge ball of chakra that we've seen completely yanked from Sasuke pretty much tells us that, hey, he's allowed, or he knows how to absorb a large amount of chakra in a very short amount of time. Now in this situation, it looks like he's not going to take Naruto's chakra extremely quickly. What Urashiki could have possibly done was he could have possibly just stuck his rod into Naruto and actually take all of the chakra from him, and possibly even the Nine Tails as well, because as you guys know, once he uses the chakra out for the first time, he might steal all of Naruto's uzamaki chakra. But after that, because Naruto has no chakra, he's then forced to use some of the Nine Tails chakra, and once Naruto taps into the Nine Tails chakra, Urashiki could just use the fishing rod again and snatch Naruto's chakra extremely quickly, just like that. Now, because he didn't really do that, lets me understand that this might be a little bit too difficult for him to just do that. In theory, he could just do that, but it seems like it might be a little bit difficult. But also, as I said before, this might just be a plot armor for Naruto. This might just be plot armor for the overall arc, and we'd understand that mainly because, hey, it is Naruto. Naruto in the past got away with a lot more suspicious things before, but then again, there is a whole different possibility. Now, the possibility that I am talking about is the possibility that Urashiki might actually want the Nine Tails whole. Now, we've seen this back when Urashiki was basically fighting against the One Tails. Urashiki didn't necessarily use his fishing rod to just impale the One Tails. He didn't necessarily get that close, so that could possibly be a reason why he didn't. But Urashiki might actually want the tail beasts whole. I mean, it's possible that he doesn't necessarily just want to stick the fishing rod into these tail beasts. He might actually want them all and to possibly summon the 10 tails. Because Urashiki is from the Otsutsuki clan, the possibilities for him and his motives are pretty much endless at this moment. Now, to pick apart a little bit more things about these spoilers, and one of the things that I'm really concerned about and also really confused about is the fact that Boruto actually went out to search for Urashiki. Now, first things first, we understood that Naruto pretty much told Boruto like, hey, you can't come into contact with Urashiki. He even told Boruto like, hey, you can't leave the village because you can possibly come into contact with Urashiki. That's why Sasuke was basically paired up with him. Now, for Boruto to go search for Urashiki by himself, or just to search for Urashiki period, that's very dangerous. Not only because Naruto basically said like, hey, you can't search for Urashiki, of course that would be defying the Hokage, but also Urashiki just doesn't like Boruto, and of course Urashiki possibly wants to eliminate Boruto, from what we heard back in episode 66. Now,
いずれこちらの脅威になるかもしれませんね。
Because he has a joke and he sees Boruto as a threat, and the karma seal might also play a role in why he wants to eliminate Boruto as well. Now real quick, I do want to point out something that was said at the end of the spoilers, and it could be something extremely interesting. Now it says, even though Boruto tracks down Urashiki and corners him, he then witnesses a certain ominous thing. Now at this point we can assume that Urashiki already captured Naruto. Because Urashiki captured Naruto, Boruto went out looking for him, and of course now he found Urashiki, he most likely have found Naruto as well. Now I've heard the word ominous before in the past. It's been used to describe a lot of things, but of course it's also been used to describe the Nine Tails and also the Nine Tails chakra. It's very possible for Boruto in this situation to possibly have seen the Nine Tails. Now I'm not saying that the Nine Tails has already been extracted from Naruto, but if you guys can recall, there was multiple times where someone has looked into Naruto's eyes and seen the Nine Tails. This happened in Naruto Shippuden when Sasuke looked into Naruto's eyes and seen the Nine Tails. This also happened early in Boruto when Uchiha looked into Naruto's eyes and seen the Nine Tails. But I do want to point out, every single time where someone actually looked and actually seen the Nine Tails, they had a Sharingan. Now in Boruto's case, he might have actually activated his Shogun and actually seen these Nine Tails because of this. This frame right here from a preview, Boruto was actually looking into Naruto's eyes while he had the Nine Tails cloak on. And of course, the time when Sasuke and also Uchiha looked into Naruto's eyes and actually seen the Nine Tails, he had the Nine Tails eyes out as well. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. This next episode is definitely going to be extremely interesting. It's going to have Jiraiya and Sasuke finally talking. I think this is like the first time we finally get dialogue between Sasuke and Jiraiya, even though it's a very weird dynamic as well. But also we finally get to see Urashiki finally pull up and take Naruto as well. And of course we're going to get to see a little bit more insight about what Urashiki's overall goal is. But let me know what you guys think about this episode overall in the comment section below. It's me, your boy Baara B, and we out.
Check my clock, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual, no high cholesterol. Where's Jenny Craig? Bitch, just get sexual.